Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for the cut file crew, and this is the cut file that we'll all be designing with. I'll come back to that in a moment. For this layout I'm going to be using 49 and Market ARToptions Avesta, was a collection that they launched last year. So as you might have noticed, the cut file was actually in German. A lot of the ladies that I design alongside in the cut file crew are actually European, and they picked a German cut file, which is absolutely fine. And I wanted to show you how easy it is to actually alter a cut file. So if you see something that isn't quite what you wanted but nearly there, you can do it yourself. So basically I use the knife tool on the silhouette to actually remove the majority of the word that was above the word moment. So there was no point me actually cutting that in the white cardstock, and I've just come in with a pair of small scissors and trimmed off any other tiny bits that I thought were still left. I'm still going to call my layout special moment, but I'm going to add the word special in English. So do not be put off when you see a cut file and it's not necessarily exactly what you want. I mean, obviously you can always change the size, but you can actually remove bits that don't suit you. So I'm just having a look. I've got quite a few pattern papers still left in this collection. But I really like this flower part of this paper. So I'm thinking I might have this halfway down the layout. I want the title to be quite prominent. And I've got a tray on the right of lots of embellishments that I've got left. So I want to actually try and use some of this up. I'm hoping during the year, as I do the monthly cut file crew, that I actually get some of my collections into my album. That is my mission. So let's see how I get on as the year goes on. So I'm just looking at doing some sort of big embellishment cluster around the photograph there on the right. So I'm just having a look what pieces I've got left. Obviously I've definitely made 4 or 5 layouts from this collection already, but I really like the peaches and greens and pinks. Very nice subtle colours. In fact, 49 and Market over the last few years, they've really upped their game when it comes to their collections, and I've been known to purchase quite a few of them, and this was definitely one of my favourites from last year. So I decided the cut file was just a tiny bit too big, so I recut it, obviously still missing the top word, a slightly bit shorter. I wanted a bit more photograph to show, and I'm obviously not going to make a big rectangle layout. I am going to trim that second paper off. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want that to go, because I want those flowers to show. I don't want to cover them all up with the cut file. So just take that off camera and I'm going to trim that down. So, and then I'm going to trim the bit at the back. I'm not going to use the whole sheet, there's no point. I'm just going to mark on there and I will trim that off later on. So I'm now looking again at my cluster. I want that photograph very much on the right so I can fit in that word across. As you can see, I do a lot of my thinking as I'm designing. I don't get a chance really to get things too well prepped in advance, so just through life work, etc. So you can probably hear my thought processes as I'm going along. I do apologise for the shine on that photograph. I must have moved one of the lights during the process, so hopefully that won't be too much of a bother. So I'm just seeing what other bits and pieces I can put in. I'm very conscious of that space below the photo where the cut file ends, but I didn't want to cover the whole photo, so I need to think about that as I go along. But I kind of like the way this is going, so I'm just going to see what other bits and pieces I can still get in. So I've just been and got some vellum that I'd previously run through my Sizzix, so it's got a bit of a pattern to it, and I think I might use that to actually back the cut file with, so it's see-through and it gives it a bit of a delicate look. So I've ripped the top paper, so to speak, or the top of the layout, and I brought in another paper to go behind it so I can still remember to keep it square. So I kept the insides of the cut file, and I'm going to use them to briefly just cut round and give me a rough idea of the shape that I need to go behind the letters. You can't put the embossed vellum through the silhouette, it wouldn't stand it, so it is a little job to do by hand, but actually I don't mind that too much, and it gives me a moment to think about what I'm doing and where I'm going with the layout, and luckily I won't share all of it with you, but actually because I've got the innards, so to speak, it's not making it too difficult. But the vellum has gone a little delicate, a little bit crispy in places because it's been embossed. So I think the embossing folder, it's a Sizzix one, I think it was called something like Baroque. So I am going to take my time to get that done because I think it could look really good. So I've finished that off camera, and there's it in, stuck in. I've just used a bit of wet glue, and I did one letter at a time. I did alternates first, and then I filled the bits in when the glue was starting to dry. So I'm just sticking my two papers together there with just a bit of bit of sellotape, and I'm going to actually add that border in. But I actually had to take it apart, take the sellotape off, and do it again because I wanted the border in a little bit further, and I'd already put the tape on the back. So I took it apart and actually put it together with the border. So like sandwich the three together. So, and I know it's 12 by 12 because I've got a piece of paper underneath it that is exactly that. So I know I've got it back to the right size, because it'd be infuriating if I couldn't get it back into the page potato when I'd finished. So I'm really liking the way that that is looking, and I just realised that I hadn't cut the centre of the O. So I'm going to just trim that with a little pair of nail scissors. So I'm not sure if you've watched one of my cut file videos before. So Cut File Crew is just an Instagram hashtag. It's a group of European scrappers. I'm the only Brit. Every month one of us chooses a free cut file that is available, and we all design with the same one and produce completely different layouts just to show the versatility of what cut files are like. And it's been going for quite some time, and I really enjoy it. I think I'm the only one that makes videos as well, but hey, that's the way it is. I do like doing this. But I would really recommend you go to Instagram and you check us out. We use quite a few from Paper Issues, we use quite a few from Page. Anyone that gives free cut files, we tend to use them and provide inspiration. So it's usually the last Sunday of the month around 10 AM UK time that they go live. But just search it, Cut File Crew, or hashtag Cut File Crew, and you'll find us. So things seem to be moving on quite a lot with the layout. I've decided to add some flowers and leaves in the gap below the photograph. Also, I wanted to add the word special because that was the word that was originally there in German. I cut it in pink, and then I recut it again in white to give a border because I felt it didn't stand out enough. And I actually did the word together, special moment together. I thought that worked really well. So I've used the same font on the silhouette to cut the word. So I just use the alphabets. They're not a specific cut file. And I'm just looking at adding a few more bits and pieces. I quite like these fake ribbons and bows that they do in the laser cuts. I'm going to add that to one of the tags at the top. I've added the word special onto the word moment, just the way the original German word was. So it's very similar. So hopefully if you look at the other layouts by the rest of the team, mine will look quite similar. Got a little gap that I want to fill between the photo and the flowers, so I'm going to just see if there's any little stamps or bits and pieces. As I say, I've used quite a lot of this collection before, so I'm having a look around, but I like the way that looks there. I always like to tweak and fiddle. I do apologise, it's just kind of the way I am. There's also some butterflies in this pink. I thought they might be nice to add 2 or 3 around the words in the photo. I'm sure you remember years ago they always said that odd numbers were better, and also to keep the focus in like a triangular shape to keep your eye moving around a layout. That's the final layout finished. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, give us a subscribe to this channel, check us out on Instagram. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you here again real soon. Bye for now.